Now I will explain the importance of Gayatri Mantra. Gayatri Mantra is called Maha Mantra. It is one of the most important mantra in Hindu religion. The Gayatri Mantra is considered the most sacred of all mantras in Sanatana Dharma, that is, Vedic Hindu religion. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that among all the mantras, he is the Gayatri. The Gayatri Mantra originates from the Rig Veda, the most ancient of Indian scriptures, and the mantra's power was revealed to Brahmrishi Vishwamitra. It is known as Gayatri as it is set on the Vedic meter called Gayatri. It is made of 3 lines with 8 syllables in each, totaling 24 syllables. It is also called Savitri Mantra as it involves Savitar, a Vedic god who is often linked to the sun god Surya. The Gayatri Mantra is unique in that it is a praise to God, a spiritual practice, and a prayer, all 3 rolled into one. It goes as follows: Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. गायत्री मंत्र के पहले 9 शब्द प्रभु के गुणों की व्याख्या करते हैं। ओम का अभिप्राय है प्रणव, भूर मनुष्य को प्राण प्रदान करने वाला, भुव दुखों का नाश करने वाला, स्वः सुख प्रदान करने वाला, तत् वह सवितर सूर्य की भांति उज्ज्वल, वरेण्यम सबसे उत्तम, भर्गो कर्मों का उद्धार करने वाला, देवस्य प्रभु, धीमहि आत्म चिंतन के योग्य ध्यान, धियो बुद्धि, यो जो, न हमारी, प्रचोदयात हमें शक्ति दे, प्रार्थना की जाती। Basically, the meaning of the mantra is we behold the illuminating radiance of the sun god, that is Savita. May he inspire our minds and lead us onto the righteous path. The first part of this mantra is a praise to the Almighty who created the 3 worlds, the earth, the astral world, and the heavens respectively, and who is that divine force that created everything and worthy of our admiration. The second part is a yogic practice which requests the Almighty, who is the brilliant destroyer of sins, to descend and grace our minds to remove our sins. The third part is a prayer to Gayatri Devi to enlighten our minds and raise our intellects to the highest levels possible towards righteousness or dharma. This mantra, when chanted after knowing the meaning, makes the aspirant access the whole cosmos in a few syllables, draws the aspirant's mind first outwards to the 3 major words, and then after the consciousness expands from dullness, it brings us back inwards with a spiral energy flow, requesting the divine to burn the darkness in the aspirant's brains and then elevate the aspirant's consciousness outward again to the highest level possible. Now, as an individual soul more integrated with the divine spirit present everywhere. Only 24 sages since creation have been credited to have understood the essence of Vedas and obtained the grace of Gayatri Devi. Sage Vishwamitra was the first and sage Yagnavalkya was the last. The perseverance and austere tapas penance of sage Vishwamitra are world recognized. As per the Indian epic Ramana, he achieved in a single birth what was considered an impossibility. A warrior class person elevating to the higher priest class by austerity and selfness alone. Sage Vishwamitra was able to form a new heaven and new star with constellations in the sky through the power of the Gayatri mantra. He also imparted various spiritual lessons and secret weapons to Lord Rama, which was to help Sri Rama in his wars later for reinstating righteousness, dharma. The Buddha pays homage to sage Vishwamitra as one of the Saptarishis, 7 highest sages who understood the Vedas and their messages. More recently, the author Hemad Pant also pays his respect to all Brahm Rishis and Maharishis to bless the Sai Charitra, which is the primary biography of Sri Shirdi Sai Baba's holy life. Sage Vishwamitra is among those in his list. Gayatri Devi, the goddess personifying the Gayatri mantra, is the essence of everything that is Brahma, the universal spirit. She is depicted with 5 faces and is the equivalent of the Hindu trinity of gods, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. She is also worshipped as the unified form of Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati, the goddesses who are consorts of the trinity of gods. It is well accepted for thousands of years that Gayatri Devi removes sufferings and adversity of whoever prays to her, and she motivates that devotees gradually toward the path of righteous wisdom. The all-world Gayatri Parivar, created by Pandit Sri Ram Sarma Acharya, provides valuable guidance on the Gayatri awareness. Now I will give some thoughts which are in a small booklet by Satya Sai Baba. This book was written by one Sri Lankan and blessed by Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. There appear to be reservation in the minds of some learned people as to who are not entitled to chant or to repeat the Parnava and Gayatri mantra as part of their spiritual sadhana. Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, the avatar of our age, has declared to us as follows. There are many who argue that the Parnava can be repeated only by a few and that others are not entitled to it. This is wrong. This false conclusion has been arrived at since they do not know the truth. It springs from the mistaken belief. The Gita does not mention this group or that group. Krishna declares, whoever, without any qualifying words limiting it to one class or sex. Bhagwan has declared the Gayatri mantra is the elaboration of the Parnava Sava or Om. It is the Gayatri mantra is now held so venerable and valuable that initiation into the Adhyatmic life is achieved by its contemplation. Quoting the Shukla Yajurveda, Swami Vivekananda asked, "Can you show any authority from this Veda of ours that everyone has not the right to it? This Veda is our only authority and everyone has the right to it." The Gayatri Mantra, what is Gayatri Mantra? Baba explains. The Gayatri Mantra is the universal prayer enshrined in the Vedas, the most ancient scripture of the mankind. The Gayatri Mantra is a prayer that can well be spoken with yearning by men and women of all creeds and climes in all centuries. A repetition of this mantra will develop the intelligence. The Gayatri mantra is as follows: Om Bhura Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. How may the Gayatri mantra be translated? Om. Om means Par Brahman, Bhur, Bhuloka, that is the physical plane. It also refers to the body made up of five Panch Bhutas, five elements. These five elements constitute Prakriti, that is nature. Bhuva, Bhuloka, the middle world. Bhuva is also Prana Sakti. However, it is the presence of prajna that enables the prana Shakti to animate the body. It is on this account that the Vedas have declared Prajanam Brahma. Constant integrated awareness is Brahma. Swaha, Savragloka, heaven, the land of gods. Tat, Paramatma, God or Brahman. Savitur, that from which all this is born. Varenyam, fit to be worshipped. Bharatvoho, the radiance, the spiritual effulgence, the light that bestows wisdom. Devasya, divine reality. Dhimahi, we meditate. Dhiyo, buddhi, intellect. Yo, which. Na, our. Parchodayat, enlighten. The Gayatri mantra may be translated in many ways. One such translation is as follows: Om Dhimahi, we meditate upon the spiritual effulgence, Varenyam Devasya, of that adorable supreme divine reality. Svita, this source, Bhura Bhuva Swaha, of the physical, the astral, and the heavenly spheres of existence. Tat, may, that spring, divine being. Parchodayat, enlighten. Yo, which. Na, our. The, yo, intellect, so that we may realize the supreme truth. Also, Dhiyo Yona Parchodayat, awaken my discrimination, O Lord, and guide me. Who discovered the Gayatri mantra? Says Vishwamitra discovered the Gayatri mantra. It was the same sage Vishwamitra who initiated Sri Rama into the mysteries of sun worship through the mantra Aditya Hridayam. Many people chant Aditya Hridayam as part of their sadhana. The Central Chinmaya Mission Trust, Bombay, has published by Ramakrishna Math Madras 4 booklets on the Aditya Hridayam. What did the Gayatri mantra enable sage Vishwamitra to do? The Gayatri mantra enabled sage Vishwamitra to use rare weapons which bowed to his will when the mantra was repeated with faith. Through the powers he attained in this way, Vishwamitra was able to create a counterpart of this cosmos. To whom is the Gayatri mantra addressed? The Gayatri mantra is addressed to the energy of the sun, Surya. What is the potency of Gayatri mantra? This mantra has infinite potentiality. It is a vibrant formula. It has immense powers, powers that are truly amazing, for the sun is its presiding deity. Where is the Gayatri mantra enshrined? The Gayatri mantra is enshrined in the Vedas, the most ancient scripture of man. Who is Gayatri? Gayatri is the mother of the Vedas. Whom does Gayatri redeem? Gayatri redeems the chanter of the mantra. Where is Gayatri present? Gayatri is present wherever the mantra is chanted. What are the three names of Gayatri? Gayatri has three names: Gayatri, Savitri and Saraswati. These three are present in each one of us. Gayatri is the master of the senses, Savitri is the master of prana, that is life force, Savitri signifies truth. Saraswati is the presiding deity of speech. These three represent purity in thought, word and deed. One who practices purity and harmony of thought, word and deed will have Gayatri, Savitri and Saraswati residing in him. To whom is the Gayatri mantra addressed? The Gayatri mantra is addressed to the immanent and transcendent divinity. What name has the immanent and transcendent divinity been given? The immanent and transcendent divinity has been given the name Sveta. What does the Sveta mean? Sveta means that from which all this is born. How many parts may the Gayatri mantra be considered to have? The Gayatri mantra may be considered to have three parts. The mantra has all three elements that figure in the adoration of God: praise, meditation and prayer. The first 9 words represent the attributes of the divine. Om Bhur Swah Bhuva Swaha Tat Saviturvrenyam Bhargo Devasya. Dhimahi pertains to meditation. Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat is the prayer to God to confirm on all powers and talents. What may these three parts also be described as? The three parts may also be described as: first, praise to Sveta, the divine is first praised. Second, meditation on Sveta, the divine is then meditated upon in reverence. Third, prayer to Sveta, an appeal is made to the divine to awaken and strengthen our intellect, the discriminating faculty, buddhi in us. What is the Gayatri mantra considered to be? The Gayatri mantra is considered to be the essence of the teaching of Vedas, the Veda Sara. What does the Gayatri mantra foster? Chanting the Gayatri mantra fosters and sharpens the knowledge-yielding faculty in man. What are the other benefits to one who chants the Gayatri mantra? To one who chants the Gayatri mantra regularly and with faith, the Gayatri mantra is the reliever of diseases. Sarva Roga Nivarani Gayatri. The Gayatri mantra wards off all misery. Sarva Dukha Parivartini Gayatri. The Gayatri mantra is the fulfiller of all desire. Sarva Vancha Plasri Gayatri. What does the Gayatri mantra bestow on the person who chants it with faith? The Gayatri mantra is the bestower of all that is beneficial to the person who chants it with faith. What are the other results of chanting the Gayatri mantra? If the Gayatri mantra is chanted, various kinds of powers will emerge in one. Hence, the Gayatri mantra should not be treated casually. What is truth? Truth is that which is valid at all times, past, present, and future. The truth is the Gayatri mantra. What does the Gayatri mantra imply? The Gayatri mantra implies the four Mahavakyas or the four core declarations enshrined in the four Vedas. What are the four Mahavakyas? The four Mahavakyas: consciousness is Brahma, that is Atreya Upanishad of Rigveda. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad of the Yajurveda. Tattvamasi, that thou art, Chandogya Upanishad of the Samveda. I am Atma Brahma, the self is Brahma, Mandukya Upanishad of the Atharvaveda. When should the Gayatri mantra be chanted? The Gayatri mantra should be chanted as dawn, noon, and dusk. What are these times also known as? These times are also known as Sandhya Kalam, that is to say, the meeting point between night and day, morning and evening, day and night. These times are beneficial for spiritual practices. Do we have to be bound by these periods of time to chant the Gayatri mantra? No, we do not have to be bound by these 3 periods of time to chant the Gayatri mantra. When then can the Gayatri mantra be chanted? The Gayatri mantra can be chanted at any time and everywhere. What should the person chanting the Gayatri mantra ensure at all? The person chanting the Gayatri mantra should ensure that his heart is pure at all times. Bhagwan's injunctions are that we should not treat the Gayatri mantra casually, that our heart should be pure at all times. We should therefore obey and practice implicitly Bhagwan's teaching. Speak truth, attach values to your words. Truth is the life of words. Practice righteousness. How? By developing Trikarna Siddhi, purity and harmony of thought, word and deed. Think no evil, think what is good. See no evil, see what is good. Hear no evil, hear what is good. Talk no evil, talk what is good. Do no evil, do what is good. At all times follow Bhagwan's maxim. Help ever, hurt never. Dedicate all your actions to the Lord without undue concern for the results and without the false sense of doership. What is Bhagwan's advice to young people? Bhagwan's advice to young people is that they should chant the Gayatri mantra when taking their bath. What does Bhagwan recommend this? Bhagwan says that when we take our bath, we are cleansing our bodies. Therefore, we should take this opportunity to cleanse our minds and intellect also at the same time. At what time, other times does Bhagwan recommend that we chant the Gayatri mantra? Bhagwan recommends that we chant the Gayatri mantra before every meal, when we wake up from bed, when we go to bed. What should we repeat after chanting the Gayatri mantra? We should repeat Shanti 3 times after we finish chanting the Gayatri mantra. Why should we repeat Shanti after completing our recitation of the Gayatri mantra? We should repeat Shanti because it will give Shanti or peace of mind to three entities in us: body, mind, and soul. Bhagwan taught the Gayatri Mantra and its importance to Sri E.F. Fanibanda. What are the main points in Bhagwan's teaching? Bhagwan's teachings to Sri Fanibanda are given in his book. Baba advises that each word should be pronounced clearly and distinctly without undue haste or hurry. Gayatri is at the very basis of the Vedas and merits the name Veda Mata, or the mother of the Vedas. The Gayatri mantra is all pervasive throughout the manifest cosmos. Gayatri is that which preserves, protects, and rescues the chanter from mortality. The Gayatri mantra is universal prayer which asks for a clear intellect so that the truth may be reflected therein without distortion. Bhagwan has said that men and women of all climes and creeds can chant the Gayatri mantra. It calls upon the glorious power that pervades the sun and the three worlds to arouse, awaken, and strengthen the intelligence so that it may lead us through intense sadhana to success. The heart needs to be cleaned thrice a day, dawn, noon, and dusk. Besides these times, Bhagwan has said that the Gayatri mantra can be repeated anywhere at any time, including night time. The Gayatri mantra is synonymous with divinity and has therefore to be approached with humility, reverence, faith, and love towards the mantra. The Vedas are the very breath of God, and the Gayatri mantra is at the very basis of the Vedas. Bhagwan is the Veda Purusha and is therefore the supreme authority on the Vedas. Love and reverence for the mantra and faith in its promised results are far more important than mere mechanical repetition while the mind wanders. This prayer is directed to the Divine Mother. O Divine Mother, our hearts are filled with darkness. Please make this darkness distant from us and promote illumination within us. Full faith in the power and potency of the Gayatri mantra will be generated only when the seeker has developed the requisite degree of enthusiasm, reverence, and love towards this mantra. The more one chants the Gayatri mantra, the greater the benefit to the one who chants it. How does man misuse his life? Man forgets the true nature owing to his attachment to his body. He makes bodily comforts the goal of his life and involves himself in misery. The body is a car and the Atma is the driver. Forgetting one's true role as a driver, one identifies oneself with the body, which is only a vehicle. What should man's life be? Man's life should be a continuous series of sacrifices of the lower for the sake of the higher, or of the tiny in favor of the vast. What cannot our two eyes reveal to us? Our two eyes are focused toward the objective world and its transient attractions. They cannot therefore reveal the magnificence and majesty of the realm of spirit. For what purpose has the Gayatri mantra been given to us? The Gayatri mantra has been given to us as the third eye, the Agya Chakra, to reveal the inner vision to us. By developing this inner vision, we may realize Brahma. Why should we guard the Gayatri mantra throughout our lives? The Gayatri mantra is a treasure and we must therefore guard it throughout our lives. We must learn to pronounce and chant the Gayatri mantra correctly and exactly as taught by Bhagwan. Bhagwan has taught the correct pronunciation and intonation of the Gayatri mantra in Satyasai Bhajanavali tape number 14. Okay, Bhagwan speaks on Gayatri mantra at Upnayanam ceremony. What should we never give up? We should never give up the Gayatri mantra. That is to say, we must chant the Gayatri mantra at least a few times every day with a pure heart. What may we give up? We may give up or ignore any other mantra, but we should never give up the Gayatri mantra throughout our lives. What benefits can we derive from by chanting the Gayatri mantra? Mantra several times a day with a pure heart. The Gayatri mantra will protect us from harm wherever we are, whether in a bus or car, in a railway train or a plane, in a bazaar or on the road. What have the Westerners discovered about the Gayatri mantra? The Westerners have discovered that when the Gayatri mantra is chanted with the correct accent as laid down in the Vedas, the vibrations produced by the Gayatri mantra visibly illumine the atmosphere around. Bhagwan tells us the sound of a mantra is as valuable as its meaning, sadhana. We should therefore learn to chant the Gayatri mantra correctly as taught by Bhagwan. The Gayatri mantra chanted by Bhagwan is repeated 3 times at the end of each bhajan session in the Sai Mandir at 20 Barnes Place, Colombo. It is not advisable to learn the pronunciation of the Gayatri mantra from other teachers. What spiritual benefits will be derived by chanting the Gayatri mantra? The effulgence of Brahma Prakasha will descend on us, illumine our intellect, and light our spiritual path when we chant the Gayatri mantra correctly as taught by Bhagwan. While chanting the Gayatri mantra, we may be well advised to follow the instructions that Lord Krishna gave to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, shutting out all sense perceptions and fixing the gaze between the eyebrows. How often should we chant the Gayatri mantra? Bhagwan has said that we should chant the Gayatri mantra as often as possible. The more one chants the Gayatri mantra, the greater the benefit to the one who chants it. We should chant the Gayatri mantra at least 108 times, one mala every morning. This will take only 15 minutes. Those who take up to the chanting of the Gayatri mantra as a sadhana by itself may chant 3 or preferably 5 malas every morning and an equal or less number of malas in the evening. Chanting 10 malas 2.5 hours every Sunday morning and on holidays is not beyond the capacity of earnest sadhaka. Gayatri Prascharan consists in chanting 10 malas each morning for 24 or 40 days without a break. To absorb the mantric power, purity of life and an abstemious diet are essential. What is the result if we chant the Gayatri mantra while taking a bath or before taking our food? If we chant the Gayatri mantra while taking a bath, our bath gets sanctified. If we chant it before taking our food becomes an offering to the divine. We should develop heartfelt devotion to God. Who is Gayatri? Gayatri is Annapurna, the divine mother, the divine force that animates all life. Gayatri is described as 5-faced. What are they? The 5 faces of Gayatri are: number 1, Om. The Pranava is the first face. The Parnava principle represents the 8 different forms of wealth, Ashta Aishwarya. Number 2, Bhur Bhuva Swaha is the second phase. Third, Tat Savitar Varenium is the third phase. Fourth, Bhargo Devasya Dhima is the fourth phase. Fifth, Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat is the fifth phase. All these 5 aspects of the Gayatri Mantra are within each one of us. Why should we take up the Gayatri Mantra and chant it unceasingly? We should take up the Gayatri Mantra and chant it unceasingly because, number 1, the Gayatri Mantra will protect us from harm wherever we are, whether in a bus or a car, in a railway, train or in a plane, in a bazaar or on the road. Second, Brahm Prakasha, the effulgence of Brahma will descend on us and illumine our spiritual path when we chant the Gayatri Mantra. How does the Gayatri Mantra protect us? The Gayatri Mantra protects us because Gayatri is Annapurna, the mother and the force that animates all life. We do not therefore have to wait for food or for shelter when we are under the protection of Annapurna, the Divine Mother. We should therefore chant the Gayatri Mantra as often possible. The more we chant Gayatri Mantra, the greater the benefit us. Do we need any protection other than what we can get by chanting the Gayatri Mantra? No. Bhagavan tells us that the Gayatri Mantra is enough to protect the person who chants it. Why is the Gayatri Mantra enough to protect the person who chants it? The Gayatri Mantra is enough to protect the person who chants it because, as Bhagavan tells us, the Gayatri Mantra embodies all the divine potencies. What are the benefits that students will derive by chanting the Gayatri Mantra? At the Upanyanam ceremony, you may or you may not chant any other mantra, but do remember that by chanting the Gayatri Mantra, the benefits are there for you to see. By continuously chanting the Gayatri Mantra, you yourself will reach the state of fulfillment, a sense of feeling that you have achieved something. But there is an inner meaning in this Gayatri Mantra being given to young children. We have in this mantra the concluding words, Dhiyo nah prachodaya. The meaning is this: before you have been given this mantra, you have been backward intellectually, mentally, a bit lazy, and with a few negative points to your credit. But after you have been given this mantra, you have become sharper in intellect. You have become more jealous, more enthusiastic, and certainly qualified to get better marks, better rank, and first class. From tomorrow, the children, by virtue of chanting this mantra in the morning and in the evening, may they be endowed with a rare intelligence, which will take care of their fortunes, that will be presiding over their destiny. They will become highly qualified. They will become model citizens so that the future of the country will be safe in their hands. If the Gayatri Mantra is an essential requisite for the young because it ensures a bright and auspicious future for them. Now, Swami Shivananda of Rishikesh also explains, of all the mantras, the supreme and the most potent power of powers is the great, glorious Gayatri Mantra. It is the life and sport of every true Hindu. It is the sport of our Every seeker after truth who believes in its efficacy, power, and glory, be he of any caste, creed, clime, or sect, it is only one's faith and purity of heart that really count. Indeed, Gayatri is impregnable spiritual armor, a veritable fortress that guards and protects its votary, that transforms him into the divine and blesses him with the brilliant light of the highest spiritual illumination. The regular repetition of a few malas, one mala consists of repeating the Gayatri mantra 108 times of Gayatri every day will bestow upon you all that is auspicious and benevolent to you herein and hereafter. It is wrong to conceive of the notion that the Gayatri mantra is solely meant for the orthodox Brahman class. It is universally applicable, for it is nothing but an earnest prayer for light addressed to the Almighty Supreme Spirit. It is verily the sole transcendental guide light to humanity. The sun that Gayatri mantra speaks of it, Tat Savitur, the great sun which the sun or moon does not illumine, and that is the impersonal absolute Brahma. Therefore, it is the greatest of all mantras, and its presiding deity is Param Brahma itself. Yet it is acceptable to all types of aspirants. The tejas of the brahmachari, the prosperity of the grihastha, and the strength and solace of the vanaprastha lies in the Gayatri Japa. Even if you are of a different religion or caste, you can also take to the Gayatri sadhana. If you are really sincere, earnest, and faithful, your life will indeed be blessed. Dear aspirants, realize the wondrous potency of the glorious Gayatri. Realize clearly what a precious heritage you have in this mantra. Neglect not this divine Shakti that the rishis of yore have bequeathed to us. Start regular daily Gayatri Japa and feel for yourself the wondrous power that you derive therefrom. Fix a particular time for the Japa and stick to it permanently. At least one mala of Japa you must do daily without a break. It will guard you from all dangers, give you infinite strength to overcome all obstacles, and take you to the very pinnacle of splendor, power, peace, and bliss. The Lord says in the Vedas, Samano mantra, let one mantra be common to all, and that mantra is the Gayatri. The secret lore of the Upanishad is the essence of the four Vedas, while the Gayatri mantra with the three Vihartis, Bhur, Bhuvasva, is the essence of the Upanishad. Gayatri is the mother of the Vedas and the destroyer of all sins. There is nothing more purifying on earth than the Gayatri mantra. The japa of Gayatri brings the same fruit as the recitation of all the Vedas with the Angas. This single mantra, repeated sincerely and with a clear conscience, brings the Supreme God, Supreme Buddha, which is the liberation or emancipation from the wheel of birth and death. Sri Chandra Shekhara Saraswati Swami also has given some clues about Gayatri. Gayatri is the mother of all the Vedic mantra. People who chant the Gayatri mantra with the affection and devotion are protected. If the Brahman keeps the fire of mantras always burning in him, there will be universal welfare. If the Brahman keeps the fire of mantras always burning in him, there will be universal welfare. He must be able to help people in trouble with his mantric power. He lives in vain indeed if he turns away a man who seeks his help, excusing himself, thus I do the same thing that you do. I possess only such power as you have. Today the fire of mantric power has been put out, or perhaps it is like dying embers. But maybe a spark of the old fire still gives off a dim light. It must be made to burn brighter so that one day it may become a blaze. This spark is the Gayatri Mantra, which has been handed down to us through the ages. At least on Sundays, all those who wear the sacred thread must do Gayatri Japa 1,000 times. They must take every care to see that their body is kept pure and fit to absorb the mantric power. The Gayatri Mantra contains in itself the spirit and energy of all the Vedic mantras. Indeed, it imparts power to the other mantras. Without Gayatri Japa, the chanting of all other mantras would be futile. Only by the intense repetition of the Gayatri Mantra shall we be able to master the Vedic mantras. Gayatri is essential to the self and its japa must not be given up at any time. Gayatri must be worshipped as a mother. The Vedas proclaim Gayatri to be such a mother. The benefit we derive from the Gayatri Mantra is the cleansing of the mind, Chitta Shuddhi. Even other mantras have this ultimate purpose. However, Chitta Shuddhi is the direct result of the Gayatri Japa. Let us all pray to the Lord that the fire of the mantras is never extinguished in us and that it will keep burning brighter and brighter. Sadguru Sant Keshavananda also has given some clues about this mantra. Gayatri meditation is the highest form of meditation known in the Vedas. Gayatri is chanted for the attainment of universal consciousness and for the awakening of intuitive powers. Gayatri meditation destroys all delusions, energies, prana, bestows longevity, health, brilliance, and illumination. The Gayatri Mantra is the key to opening the door of cosmic consciousness. The best times for meditation are in the morning just before sunrise and in the evening just before sunset. Sit facing east or north in Padmasana or Siddhasana or Vajrasana or in any other easy, comfortable posture. Sit on a mat covered with a woolen blanket and cotton cloth to insulate your body from the ground. Once you sit in a posture, avoid unnecessary movement of the body. Keep the trunk, head and neck erect. Be fearless. Sit with a firm determination to realize the truth. The Gayatri Mantra is a cosmic rhythm consisting of 24 syllables arranged as a triplet of 8 syllables each. When you repeat the mantra, meditate on the meaning of the mantra and pray for the vision of Mother Gayatri Devi. This mantra is dedicated to God as light and the sun is the symbol of that light. This mantra has universality because it is meditation on light through the sun, which is the same to the whole of humanity. This mantra confirms wisdom, prosperity, purity and liberation. One who repeats the mantra 108 times in each sitting will attain radiance soon. One who repeats the mantra 1008 times with sincerity and devotion in each sitting will attain illumination in 40 days. Gayatri Mantra removes all fears. Gayatri Mantra is the best cure for all ills. Gayatri Mantra destroys karma and blesses us with liberation. This entire universe has emerged by the power of the Gayatri Mantra. Indeed, all this is nothing but the manifestation of the power of God. There is no japa higher than the Gayatri japa. There is no greater wealth than the Gayatri mantra. Whoever meditates on the Gayatri mantra every morning and evening will certainly be blessed with long life, good health, and peace. His word becomes a blessing. He will attain enlightenment and will become a great blessing to the society and the entire world. Even though the holy Gayatri mantra is chanted for the highest light of God, still anything a man wishes in the name of Mother Gayatri is instantaneously fulfilled. Gayatri brings healing to any sickness, be they physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. The Gayatri mantra is the body of the deity. Therefore, by constant repetition of this holy mantra, one will have the darshan or person of that deity. The scriptures say a pracharan repetition of the holy word of God should be at least 24,000 times. Gayatri mantra has 24 syllables. To repeat the Gayatri mantra 24,000 times is therefore very auspicious. The Vedas constantly emphasize the performance of the Gayatri Pracharan and Gayatri Yajna for peace, individual, national, and international. May the Universal Mother Gayatri bless the entire world. Swami Mukhyananda also has given some clues about Gayatri Mantra. In the Shukla Yajna, it is urged to spread the beneficent words of the Vedas to all people without distinction of caste, creed, or sex, even to people of other religions. Now the time has come, as declared by Swami Vivekananda in 1901, complete work. The religion we are born in, that the Vedas and the Gayatri Mantra must be propagated among all as before, irrespective of the caste, creed, sex, or religion. Women should also do Sandhya. This Veda is our authority and everyone has the right to it. Now I'll explain about few paragraphs explained by Swami Omji. Gayatri Mantra figures in the third canto, 62nd chapter and 10th verse in Rig Veda. Gayatri Mantra is considered the seed of all Vedic mantras in the sense that on the path of mantra yoga, no power can be invoked until we first perform the invocation of Ved Mata Gayatri, which is done by chanting the Gayatri mantra. It is the method of seeking the permission, Savitur or Savitri. The presiding deity of the Gayatri mantra is called Ved Mata, the mother of Vedas. The whole sadhana of Gayatri is to purify yourself. Otherwise, chanting has little meaning at the end of the day. If we fail to purify ourselves internally, then no mantra will ever yield any siddhi or power, and siddhis will come to you simply if you are purified. Sanatana Dharma stands on our pillars, Go, Gita, Ganga and Gayatri. The Gayatri mantra is the quintessential mantra of Sanatana Dharma. According to Adi Shankaracharya, the purpose of human life is fourfold. Firstly, whenever your mind has a moment to spare, chant the holy names, sing the divine glories and express your gratitude to the divine. Secondly, meditate upon the divine energy. Thirdly, spend your time in the company of good people. Lastly, be charitable to those who are needy. Says Vishwamitra is credited for first invocation of this mantra. Vishwamitra was formerly a king Kshatriya named Kaushika, who was brave but vain and arrogant. Once he was passing through a forest along with his army. After a conquest, he and his army were tired after the war and had nothing to eat or drink for days. While looking for a place to rest and drink some water, he chanced to find a small ashram of sage Vasishtha in the woods. He approached the sage Vasishtha with due reverence and asked his permission to take rest and, if possible, have some water for himself and his army. Thus, the sage Vasishtha, who was the guru of Dasharatha, the king of Ayodhya, looked resplendent due to his spiritual and yogic powers, welcomed the king and offered to give water and food to the kind and his army. King and army. The king wondered as how it was possible for a sage with a little means in his humble ashram to feed such a large army. The sage assured him that he had Nandini, a cow gifted by god Indra, who was a progeny of Kamdhenu, and she could fulfill any wish. True to his words, the king and his army had sumptuous meals and clear spring water to drink. Instead of being grateful to the sage, vicious thoughts sprang in his king's mind. Why does an ascetic who can survive on alms need a gifted cow? It should be in the possession of a king who had a large army to feed. He asked the sage to give the cow to him. The sage refused to part with the cow, saying that she had come to him by grace and her boons are for the welfare of others, to feed hungry people. The king would not take no for an answer and asked his men to untie the cow from the post. The sage then whispered a mantra and used a kriya called Satambhan in Tantra. Stambhan is the method of making anything to stop, much like the play of children asking their playmate statue. The king and his men were rooted to the spot and could not move even an inch. Several hours passed in this ignoble, tortuous condition until the king asked his forgiveness to release them from the bondage. The king returned to his palace with the fire of revenge burning in his heart at his humiliation before his men. He undertook rigorous tapasya with a view to seek revenge and not for any spiritual gain. After his ardent tapasya to Lord Shiva, the original creator of mantras, the Lord was pleased and, as is his wont, asked for a boon. The king asked for invincible weapons. Shiva, the god who would, when pleased, grant boon to his bhakta, irrespective of whether he deserved or not. Example, Bhasmasur relented and gave him many weapons which would make him invincible. The king thereafter rushed to the sage's ashram and called out to him, drunk with his newfound power. He again asked him to give Nandini to him or face destruction. The sage replied that it was not possible. The king in his wrath unleashed his fiery weapons on the sage, but the sage thwarted his advances by his Brahmanand power staff, thus making his weapons ineffective. The king lost again, but now vowed to do tapasya before the original creator Brahma. After another spell of rigorous tapasya, The god was pleased and granted him the Brahmastra, the most potent weapon. Once again the king repeated the drill but met the same fate. The sage replied to the king, "The power is not in the weapon but in you. You are not defined by what you have or what you can do, but by what you are deep inside you. Invoke the divinity in you." The king once again took to rigorous penance, and great siddhis and powers came to him. He went again to sage Vasishtha, apologized to him, and was bestowed with the title of Brahmrishi Vishwamitra. Vasishtha was himself a Brahmrishi and enjoyed a higher status by virtue of his purity of conduct. With his inner eye, Vishwamitra had seen the one mantra, the essence of the Veda, the cause of creation, the one mantra that had the power to pull anyone out of any adversity, and that congregation of divine sounds which could help one realize one's wildest dreams. The only mantra he ever invoked ever since he left Sage Vasishtha's ashram, the Gayatri mantra. The mantra Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodaya. The precise mantra can be written in Sanskrit only, but unfortunately I do not know to write in the Devanagari script on PC. Words meaning Bhu, earth, Bhuva, celestial lokas. There are said to be 14 lokas, 7 in the upper world, Bhur Bhuva Swaha Mataha Janaha Tapaha Satyam, and 7 in the nether world, Atal, Vital, Sutal, Rasatal, Talatal, Mahatal, and Patal. The departed souls dwell in them according to the merit of their karmas. Swaha heaven, Tat that Savitur divine entity, the sun god. Varanium deserving to be worshipped, Bhargo radiant effulgent, Devasya divine, Dhimahi to meditate